Like I said, he was ready to coronate Josh Allen. But I think at this point, if you ask me, Lamar Jackson is the league MVP. And before I give my 2 cents on it, Q, I want to shoot it to you first. If you had to choose, I think Josh Allen is still the slight favorite. Lamar's made a comeback. I'm going to say Lamar Jackson. There's some people who say Josh Allen. What say you, my friend?
Well, I'll first say this. I think if Saquon Barkley beats Eric Dickerson's record after 40 years,
Yeah.
I think they got to figure out a way to put him in one or two conversation because that's a 40-year-old record, man. Like, and I'm tired of I'm a big proponent of running backs not winning the MVP because I still feel like Derrick Henry should have won it, those few years ago. But he's definitely gonna do some years. But if I had to choose between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson as well. And the reason I'm doing that is because I feel like his division is also a little bit more challenging. So right now, we're looking at because I feel like people are just looking at it, as the W's, and they do have two more W's than the Ravens. I think the Ravens lost like 5 games, 11-5. I think the Bills are like 12-3, right?
Mm-hmm.
But come on, man. That AFC East is soft as shit right now, bro. Like, and the Jets
Soft
is
as
in it,
baby
so
shit.
sorry. You know what I mean? And I really feel like that's why he has all those wins. If this Ravens team wins 2-3 more games and they're 13-2, 13-3, 14-1, no way you can't say that Lamar Jackson can't be above him because look at the stats. He's throwing more touchdowns. I think he
Yeah.
has two. I think he has just two more interceptions at 6. Yo, this man, but he also threw 39 touchdowns. Yo, that ratio alone is wild. I think Josh Allen threw 26-4, and he ran, I think, 11 touchdowns. That puts him up there. Lamar Jackson ran 4 touchdowns, but he's probably gonna have another 1,000 yard on the ground season. Like this man is doing things that we haven't seen a quarterback do consistently like this back to back years in a very long time. And I'm a big proponent of people breaking records and making history. And I would love for Lamar Jackson to become the second overall quarterback ever in history to win three MVPs back to back. You know what I mean? I would love to see that, and I feel like he deserves it. And that's gonna be something that's gonna put him down to like a fucking Hall of Fame quarterback off the back of it, even though he's probably already Hall of Famer. If he wins the
Oh,
Super
absolutely.
Bowl,
Yeah, he's Hall of
that's
Fame,
even
yeah.
no, of course. But if he wins a Super Bowl and maybe another one, like you can start putting him up in that caliber of players. Just like homie was just different. Homie was just different, and right now he's changing it. And I have to feel that way. I think right now the way Josh Allen is playing, even though he's playing top tier ball, like they're definitely gonna have a chance to go far. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but he hasn't really sold me on it yet. And I hope this doesn't become some type of debate like what they did between Jokic and Embiid, and they didn't want somebody to win it consecutively because it just kind of hurts the sport. And I hope that's not what they're doing because if that person deserves it and that player played their heart out that whole season, you can see it in the numbers. You don't got to be a genius to see who's playing better. And still losing, which is crazy because they have the Ravens have the Steelers, you have the Bengals and the Browns, and that's a rivalry in its own.
Yeah.
Man, like no matter how bad the Browns are and the Bengals are, like every year they play those other teams in the division like they're fucking trying to win $1 billion,
Yeah.
like, and that's why that was always my second division, obviously behind the Giants. But I really feel like Lamar had more challenges, more obstacles, and I think he's shown through and through of what it takes to be a really good quarterback. And the stats only see it. You can even see it when like how few mistakes he does and the type of player that he is. It's just it's a beautiful thing to watch, and it makes football seem good again, even though your team's playing like shit.
Yeah.
It's good to have those type of caliber players.
Juice. Yeah.
Because they make you still want to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
They still make you want to watch the sport. Because if we didn't have him and maybe Patrick Mahomes and we just had Josh Allen and maybe a few other, it's like all right, man. It's like I don't know, what I mean?
That's yo, Q. That's you're spot on. Phenomenal point. We're Jets and Giants fans over here, New York fans. When your team's out of it, there's a level of, you know, loss of interest, so to speak, in the NFL season. So something like this injects juice in it. You know, we're used to seeing Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and those guys doing their thing. They're almost like the Golden State Warriors of the NFL, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? When they were in their heyday. But I want to throw it to you, Jay. I agree with everything you said, Q. I just want to say one thing. I think there is a little bit, a point you made. There is a little bit of fatigue when it comes to Lamar Jackson, NFL MVP fatigue. You alluded to Jokic and Embiid, and then you can harken back to years with Jordan and LeBron where they possibly could have won it every year statistically. But I think some of the writers and the people who vote, they go, I don't, do I give it to this guy again? Let's switch it up a little bit, and that's wrong. Shouldn't do that. Jay, Lamar, Josh, or is there someone else in your top five, top three or four MVP front runners?
I'm shifting back. I'm actually going to pivot back to Lamar. I know in one of the episodes, we had the
Jared
conversation
Goff.
where I was thinking Jared Goff, right?
Yeah,
And I was also thinking, there was a time where I said maybe Derrick Henry kind of going that in that way, and or
yeah.
maybe Saquon. But I mean, I don't think there's anything that you can
Props to
really
Henry too.
look
He's
at.
balling.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. But I don't think him and Saquon, well, Saquon and Derrick Henry, and I think it's like Kyron Williams is the third running back as far as rushing yards this year.
right.
But if you really look at it, it's unbelievable what you really see. His numbers are eye popping, and and Q mentioned it: 39 touchdowns to only 4 picks. That's strong, and he's about to hit 4,000 yards. Now, granted, we got to watch. Now, there's a couple of things. So let me scale it back for a second. Josh Allen, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Josh Allen just got a nice iced out chain with
From his boy, from one of his
yeah,
offensive linemen. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
it's fire. It's his
I
number,
like
but
that.
it says something on it. It says MVP.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that it says MVP with his number and it's icy.
The
Beautiful,
fix is the
beautiful
fix is
train.
in.
Yeah. So no, we don't know if the fix is in, but we know that they're gonna try to get him that award, and he wants it. You can tell that there's nothing. He
Yeah,
had it on. He's like, oh, all the other stuff.
yeah.
So we know that he wants that award. The thing that I say here is this next game that he plays is kind of going to give us an idea of where it's going to go. He plays the Jets, right, on Sunday. If he plays extremely well, and it can't go either, like it's almost bad for him to be playing the Jets right now, because if he plays and balls out of control, we say we played the fucking Jets, right? If he stumbles and bumps his head and they lose or he doesn't look good, then we're gonna excoriate the guy and be like, this is really the
It's a
MVP.
lose
So he's in a
lose.
little bit of a lose-lose
Yeah,
situation. He's not gonna look great playing against the Jets, where if you take Lamar Jackson, who played against the Texans, who was I think the AFC champion last year, they were the AFC champion right last year, if I remember correctly.
yeah.
So if you take him against that squad and he plays that well, even though they're decimated, right? They don't have Tank Dell, they don't have Stephon Diggs, that's a decimated team. He still played fantastic. Like, I mean, unbelievable, out of control. He
Yeah,
broke the rushing record. He took it from Michael Vick.
yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah,
in the third quarter, he's
yeah.
got 800 plus rushing yards. He almost has as many rushing yards as Kyron Williams, which is the third leading rusher in the NFL, and he's a running back. So how do you not look at those things and say to yourself, this is something special? I don't want it to become a situation like y'all said where you kind of get fatigued and you're like, do I got to keep giving it to this guy? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
He's the best player in the league. Why would you not?
Best player in the
He's
league.
doing things every single year. And this was a guy who they wanted to convert to wide receiver.
When he was
They
behind
didn't
Flacco.
even they didn't even think that this was going to be a quarterback that you were going to have to look at and say
Right.
that's one of the
They wanted
top
to
tier
do him like a
quarterbacks.
Taysom Hill type of deal and
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
make him into some type of, or maybe make him a slash
Yeah, yeah.
like the kid from Pittsburgh years ago,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. This guy is think about this: 3,900 yards, going on 4,000 yards, 39 touchdowns, and only 4 interceptions,
And almost a
only
thousand on
four,
the ground.
and almost a G on the ground. And the team is doing what? Think about this: he's got almost a G on the ground, and he's got a guy on his team that has 1,600 yards. Think about that shit. plus the
even more.
4,000 in the air.
No, 18. 18. He
18.
almost
And he's
caught
not
18.
even a running quarterback
18.
anymore. He's a pocket
No.
passing quarterback right
Pocket
now.
passer.
He run when it's like if he really wanted to lock in and just run everything, he'd be way over 1,000. Let's keep
He
it a
had
buck.
1,200 easily
Yeah,
right now.
easy. You know what I'm
Easily.
saying?
Because it looks effortless. These
Yeah.
aren't and he's not even, when he runs, it almost, you don't get nervous about him getting injured or hurt. You
No.
almost just kind of like look at it like
Right.
he's very smooth, like the
Yeah.
Right.
that he does.
Like he knows the
Yeah.
routes. And
He
like,
knows, like he almost knows where they're gonna be before the defender is there. So
It's instinctual. His running is
it's
instinctual. Yeah.
that's the perfect
Yeah.
word for it. It's
Yeah.
instinctual.
Remember
And I think when
RG3? You used to have a problem sliding, and that's how he got hurt. And he just looked, you know what I mean? He was fast and everything, but he didn't know how to.
Get out
He
the
wasn't
way.
slick with it. Yeah.
He didn't know how to
Yeah.
get out the way.
Yeah.
So if if I had a pick, and maybe one day I will, it'll be Lamar all day and every day. Like he just my eyes, I can't deceive these eyes with what I'm seeing on Sundays, Thursdays, and Mondays with him. Period.